This is a digital DJ tips review of the Pioneer DJ DDJ-REV1 brand new entry-level Serato controller. And you can see the whole of that DJ Jazzy Jeff demo that he made for us on this controller from the link underneath this video. And in this video, I'm going to talk you more through the unit itself. You get a better idea of what it does, what's new about it, and whether it's going to be a good buy for you. So the DDJ-REV1 is basically a replacement for, and here's our trusty old SB3, which was the replacement for the SB2 and the SB before it. Really popular entry-level Serato controllers. And this has not really been updated in probably half a decade. So this is about time. And it's really interesting what they've done with this controller. So looking at it from the kind of from the beginning, you can see that the big changes are that we've got the decks laid out as a battle DJ would lay out their turntables. So we've got the pitch control at the top and horizontally. So this is very much the kind of new way, or the alternative way to CDJs nowadays. You know, you're either DJing on CDJs or you're DJing on a scratch mixer and turntables, which are always turned 90 degrees to look like this. So this is brand new. But also in the center here, this area is laid out like a scratch mixer. So what we've got here is a battle stroke performance DJ's kind of dream setup squashed down into a controller, and that's never been done before on an entry-level controller. So it's new and it's nice because this layout it's not done anymore. You know, this is the old-fashioned layout where you had the two effects units at the top and you had it laid out in a way that you never saw on gear outside of software controllers. It wasn't something you saw on club gear, and it wasn't something that battle DJs used. Now we've got the modern layout going on here that is separate from the kind of club layout, but an equally well-established way of having your controls. So let's have a little closer look at what's going on. It's an entry-level device. That means it works with Serato DJ Lite in the box. It's a $249 controller, so you're getting an awful lot for your money here. You're getting the software you need. You're getting the controller you need. The software nowadays has got Beatport, BeatSource, SoundCloud, Tidal, so you can log into one of those services and get instant music. And Serato also provides a few scratch sounds and bits and pieces and samples to get you going. So really out of the box, for $249, you're going, as long as you've got a laptop. You can even get the music playing through your laptop as well, so you don't even need to have extra speakers right at the very beginning of your journey with this. So in that way, it's improving on what the SB3 used to do, basically because the Serato DJ Lite software has improved and just got a few more beginner features that make it even easier to start. Now onto the unit itself, we really like the jog wheels because there's more space around here now. The whole deck is a lot less cluttered in the important area down here, and that means you've got nice big jog wheels. Again, if we compare it to the older one, you can see that the jog wheels are a lot smaller on here and there's a lot more clutter going on around them. So the control from the jog wheels is a lot more turntable-like and a lot nicer for your hands to grab on the wheels and use them. They're Pioneer wheels, they're very good. No displays in them or anything like that, which you don't expect at this level, but no issues there. So it's actually very simple when we stay on the decks and look at the top here. I've mentioned the pitch fader. Now that is a lot longer than it was on the SB3, which is nice as well. And the auto looping is up here, same on each deck. The decks are identical. There's no mirror image thing going on here, as was once the kind of norm. They're literally identical to each other. And then really you've got the level controls and that's it. But what you do have on here that you didn't have on Serato DJ Lite before, which means that you couldn't do this on an entry-level controller, is decks 3 and 4. Now decks 3 and 4, as you can see on the screenshot now, they're not changing the layout on the software, so you're not getting 4 decks shown on the software. Instead though, you are kind of replacing them with the other decks, and I can load something onto the other deck here now. So now I've got those 2 things loaded. So it's not perfect, but it is there, and it does mean that if you want to mess around with 4 decks, you don't need to replace your software or get a bigger controller just yet. You've got that function on there. Could be useful having an a cappella or a loop or someone playing away, and it wasn't on this software before, so it's good to see it on there. Now let's move on to the mixer section, because the mixer section is another place where this shines. Let's look at the mixer again on the old SB3. It's a very narrow strip down the middle here, right? Here, what we're getting is a mixer that looks like a shrunken, Honey I Shrunk the DJ-MS mixer. It's just like a DJ-MS scratch mixer. So we've got the pads up here between the Very, very clean crossfader and upfader section. The pads are here. And then above that, you've got your high, mid and low and your filter and trim, which are again laid out in the same way they are laid out on scratch mixers that pro DJs use. You also have paddles for the effects. So this means that you've got a very easy way of dialing in the effect that you want to hear from the unit up here on these paddles momentarily, or leaving it locked on. Nothing new, but certainly something new on a Serato Pioneer DJ entry-level controller. It's never been done before like that. And there's a little bit more control over the effects here than on some of the competition as well. You do get a level depth control, and you do get beat controls and the ability to choose from the unit. And again, these are things that when other hardware has kind of tried to simplify effects from the old way it was done, with these big kind of clunky, quite hard to use, to be honest, effects units that you used to have. When they tried to simplify them, in my view, they took too much away and you didn't have any flexibility at all. You've still got flexibility here. You can choose your effects, you can choose how quickly they cycle, you can choose how intense they are, and that's all possible with the paddles, which is the fun bit. The things we loved about this then, we like the fact that it's got some new stuff on the pads that you can't get on any other system. So let me show you one of those. The first thing that hasn't been on a controller at all before, to my knowledge, is the tracking. Now tracking will let you basically cut up a scratch sound without having to use a crossfader. So this is really cool. Let's get a scratch sample loaded onto one of our decks, and I'll show you how that works. So we'll get a track loaded over on here as well. I'm now still switched on to deck 4, you see. It is something you're going to have to get used to if you want to use more than one deck on each side, but there we go. So we've got some music playing here. So I've got a scratch sound here, right, on the other deck. So I could be scratching with this and trying my hardest and trying to get the crossfader working and so on. But guess what? I can't do it like Jazzy Jeff can. Now, interestingly enough, there is a Jazzy Jeff button on a different controller that you can get. So Jazzy Jeff, our tutor, has already tried to make this easier for you, but on this one, there's another brand new feature that makes scratching easier for you, and they've called it tracking. So what this does is listen to the track you're scratching over and then cut the scratch sound that you've got on the other deck in and out rhythmically in time, so you don't have to do it on the crossfader. It's just one less thing to worry about when you're learning. So if we get this track playing here, here's my scratch sound. I'm going to go into the tracking mode by tapping there, and I'm going to select one of the 6 options. You hear how that's making me sound good? You hear how that's cutting the sound in and out? And there's 6 of those to choose from with different rhythmic patterns. It's really nice, and so it's good to see that there. Let's talk through what else you've got on the pads then. So hot cues are the same as they've always been since the beginning of time. You've got auto loop, which will just set your track looping for you. I'm actually going to use the ones on this side because that's where the track is loaded. So auto loop will set a loop playing for you. You're limited in Serato as to how short that loop can be in Serato DJ Lite, but you've got those there. We've already talked about tracking. You have a sampler on here, so you can play 4 samples, and they're loaded up here, and you can change them there on the screen in front of us, so you can see the samples there. And also you have the scratch bank, which is a place where you can have a separate set, in this instance of 4 samples or even whole tracks you can have loaded up there that you can switch to very, very quickly. And so we've got some scratch samples set in the scratch bank here. I'm going to hold down Shift and press that button there to go to scratch bank. And now in here I've got some scratch samples, which you can see it's loaded that sample. The second I press that, it loaded that sample and it's there for me. And I can actually go back to the track that was playing before by holding down Shift and pressing that button. So you can quickly load something up to scratch with and then go back to where you were before there. So you've effectively got 2 little different sample systems there that you can use in slightly different ways. Again, scratch bank on an entry-level Serato DJ Lite controller. It's new and it's good to see it, albeit limited from what you can do on Serato DJ Pro and on bigger devices. So in here we've also got, so there's basically 8 labeled things here, but you can only use 6 of them. You get the hot cues, which work for 4 hot cues. You get auto loop, which is limited, but it's there. Tracking, brand new, showed you. Sampler and scratch bank, showed you. Transform effect is kind of like the way the tracking works. It just chops your track in and out for you without you having to do anything, just when you're playing a track. But what we haven't got is beat jump and roll. That doesn't come with Serato DJ Lite. So beat jump is where you can move by a certain number of beats through the track, keeping it all in time. And roll is where you can do that kind of classic, the track's getting shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter, and then it kicks in again. So these are two things that you'd need to upgrade to Serato DJ Pro for. You're probably gonna want to upgrade to Serato DJ Pro at some point. While Serato DJ Lite that comes with this is really nice software and it's more capable than ever. As I said, you can have the sound coming through your laptop as of quite recently with this. You can also have the microphone coming through the audio cable, through the digital cable into your laptop, as well as the sound. So if you wanted to live stream with this, for the first time ever, you don't need to worry about getting your voice into your live stream software as well. Serato will send that out for you. And you can tell Serato to make all of that available to OBS or whatever you want to live stream your DJ sets from. Again, this is all new and it's all in the software. So Serato DJ Lite software that's in the box with this is getting more and more capable. Now there's only 2 VU meters on here, but the nice thing is that they are connected to the input level. And that means that you can get your input level set so you're not in the red, and then you're going to be all right turning the master level to where you want. And some controllers that have only 2 meters will have them both on only the master output, so you can't tell whether you're distorting it on the input. It's a small thing, but it's something that I always like to see on controllers when they've only got 2 meters like this, and that works well. Look, I think I've covered everything here. It's got only an 1/8" headphone input, so you've got to make sure your headphones have got the small socket, but hey, most have nowadays. The pads are a little bit small, I have to say. If you look at our beat up old SB3 here, the pads were bigger on here slightly, and they've had to do that to get them squashed into this idea of having the scratch mixer down the side and the kind of 90-degree turn decks on the ends of the controller. But that is something I would say, if pad size is important to you and you're a little bit worried about hitting the wrong thing, you might just want to think about that, because they are a little bit less spread out, which is the way it has to be when you're going for this kind of layout. But while we're talking about the layout, I think the thing I want to finish with here is why this is an important controller. Because for the first time, you can buy a controller that's laid out in the same way that 2 turntables and a DJ MS mixer is laid out by a performance party scratch DJ, right? So you can get used to knowing your pads are in the middle above your faders. You can get used to knowing that your pitch fader is right at the top of the mixer and having nice, big, clean, not much going on at the bottom with big jog wheels. This is all stuff that will become muscle memory to you. And when you move up to, say, the DDJ-REV1, and then from there, maybe you want to move up to using real turntables or Rain 12s with a full-size battle mixer in the middle, it's not going to feel alien to you. You're not going to have to readjust the way your brain works when it's looking through all the stuff. Of course, there'll be little differences, but overall, you've got used to playing in this way. And nowadays, DJs tend to play in one of those 2 ways. They tend to play in the club layout way or the battle layout way, right? And this third old-fashioned kind of layout is pretty much history now. So this is a thorough update for an entry-level Pioneer Serato controller. Apart from the tiny things that we didn't like, maybe the software is a bit limited because, hey, they want you to buy the full software. It's great value and a great entry-level, all-round party, open format, performance, battle system. Now you can watch the whole of the Jazzy Jeff demo that we showed you a little teaser of at the beginning by going to the URL underneath me now. And if you want to see me go into full detail, exhaustive detail about every single knob and button and fader on here, then go and take a look at the written review, which again is linked, and that's in the description underneath. So this has been Phil with the brand new Pioneer DJ DDJ-REV1. If you've enjoyed this and you want more like it, then come and join Digital DJ Tips. Click the link below, go to the link below, and we will make you our latest member. And if you want to watch the review video of the other unit that came out today, the REV7, well, you can do that as well, link underneath. And do go and watch that Jazzy Jeff demo because it's a good one. Get good, get out there and make the moments, and I'll see you very soon.